Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from Catania Alvin in London. It's a beautiful day, blue sky, no chemtrails, guys and girls. So I've got up on the screen global gold as the global currency to make America great. The full title is a lovely picture of Donald Trump. President Trump replaced the dollar with gold as the global currency to make America great again. Now, this was a speech at CPAC, and quoting global cooperation dealing with other countries, getting along with other countries is good, it's very important, but there is no such thing as a global anthem, a global currency, or a global flag. This is the United States of America, and that I'm representing. That's fairly clear. Bring people up to speed, second by second. I've got Restored Republic via the GCR, Global Currency Reset, as of March the 29th. Well, as probably most, if not all, of you will know, that March the 29th was supposed to be the day that actually Britain came out from under the clutches of the European Union. So let's go on to this and we'll see. Some interesting information is coming out from Judy, and she says, in my opinion, notification for Tier 4 Group B, the Internet Group, private SIM redemption appointments could occur on by Friday, March the 29th, and the 800 number release for currency appointments by Saturday, March the 30th. They could go together after the Basel, Switzerland announcement of the global gold standard set for Friday, March the 29th. I'll just bring this over so you can see what I'm reading. Right, now what is this? What's all this about? The Tier 4 and Group B and what have you. There have been various tiers of people who have actually gone into certain programs, financial programs, so that they can then, when this comes about, and we've known about it for many, many, many years, that actually they would be receiving the finance to set their humanitarian projects up. That is what is going on as well. Now, on Sunday, March the 24th, the Muller report turned on the RV process at the new US Treasury in Reno, Atlanta, and Chicago. What is also happening is that they've got big cover stories, like the Muller report is huge. And so that covered for the release of the RV process. As I said in one of my other videos, there are three things more than three, but three specific things happening. The world is going on to the gold-backed system and replacing the fiat currency system of the old banking, still present banking system, but it's on the verge of being brought down. Why is this? Because it has behaved so criminally. The whole system is fraud. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You can go and do your own research. There's plenty of evidence out there. Okay. So, to do that, the swamp has to be cleaned up. So consequently, these big events where we get the FISA report being released unredacted, and of course I'm in England, but I've been following American news for many, many years. Not only the FISA report, but the Muller report and various other things. You've also had happening like this situation, which was a false flag in New Zealand, and the New Zealand Prime Minister took away the gun straight away, and that was the intention. Every false flag that's happened in America of that ilk regarding guns, etc., has been to try and get rid of the Americans having their guns. Don't do it. Stay with them. Stay responsible to use them only in the right way. The third one is that actually GSARA is being brought in. What is GSARA? Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, which came out of NESARA, National Economic Security and Reformation Act, which resulted after the banks foreclosed on the farmers en masse on one or other side of the Mississippi, and that was in the early 1980s, and there was a big land grab. The farmers fought it in the courts and took it up to the Supreme Court, and joy of joys, the farmers won. Out of that court case, then many, I'm told thousands of people, were involved in setting up a new financial system backed by gold. Okay, none of this nonsensical fiat currency which the British basically brought in, and also, of course, they set up the Federal Reserve in 1913, which of course was part of their evil plans. On top of all this, we're all rising in frequency now, and so that's why all this ghastly and shocking revelation of the paedophilia and involved in so many institutions, whether it's church or state or corporate. So that's the base nub of it. I'm just reading on from Judy Byington, Restored Republic. Friday, March the 23rd, was also the end of the banking business quarter, as well as a drop-dead date for banks to be Basel compliant. I can't find it at the moment. I've put everything organized to do this, and then I can't find it. But I put it in the description box. Okay, so this Basel III compliancy, meaning that countries had to have asset gold-backed currencies, or they would not be eligible to participate in the global currency reset. By law, on March the 29th, central banks were required to recognize gold holdings as cash reserves, and the Bank of International Settlements was set to announce a gold currency standard for 209 countries participating in the GCR. I've jumped a bit into the next paragraph. Now, Monday, April the 1st is the first business day of the week when central bank transitioned to the gold asset-backed quantum financial system. The general public could begin their currency exchanges. Our exchange redemption accounts would be fully accessible. Our structured payouts would begin earning interest, plus a new US taxpayer plan would be enforced by April the 1st. This is all part of GSARA. Now, GSARA means that actually also that there's peace in the world, because who is it that makes all the wars? Basically, the British Empire, who've had their clutches in America and through the deep state. That is still happening, plus other places around the world. Right, to continue. The Brexit vote on Monday the 28th effectively eliminated the Queen's Bank of London and Vatican Bank's money laundering activities, and thus the cabal's hold over the global financial system, while the RV would serve to revive the market. That's the RV meaning revaluation. Now, although they say money laundering activities, it's not just money laundering. The whole system of fiat currency is fraudulent, and what a joy it will be to be able to say was. Coming down a little bit under Bruce's call, on Friday, March the 29th, the global gold standard will be announced from Basel, Switzerland. On Saturday, March the 30th, Iraq would publish the new rates, etc. Anything else? So, an overall view, if I click on the RV intelligence alert promising March the 28th, just a quick review here. Okay. The end of the deep state is now at hand as the release of Muller's report exposes their lies. Theresa May has promised to resign after Brexit is passed with a deal. Well, it's such a ghastly deal. I don't think that will pass. This is the ideal scenario, as the next elected PM will begin reforms to meet GSARA compliance. However, if no deal Brexit scenario occurs, then we may see European Union collapse in the near future. Intelligence operatives working for the Earth Alliance are embedded within the banking world, are covertly removing corrupted bankers. Great news. Meanwhile, multiple reports are coming out of sources in Reno, that's where the Treasury is in the United States, claiming that the RV, or the revaluation, is near. The possibility of major events occurring at the end of the month and through April looks promising. Those are good events. Now, I've got this gentleman up. The birth, that's his channel, the birth of a dictatorship, question mark, the Brexit betrayal.
We invoked Article 50.
That's the Article 50.
I believe it was around 90% of our politicians voted to invoke Article 50.
Right, so about 90% of the politicians voted to invoke Article 50. That's to say, West were leaving. What's changed? What's changed? Who's bribing? Who's being bribed, perhaps?
Okay. Now also, what you've got to remember is that 91% of MPs, after this election that we just had, were voted in on two-party manifestos, because it's only really we're talking about Labour and Conservatives. Both manifestos, both party manifestos, which you can still go onto the web and download, both stated in black and white that they would obviously do what the referendum told them to do. So it means we would leave the EU. They both stated we'd leave the single market, and they both stated that we'd leave the customs union, and we wouldn't be under the rule of the European Court of Justice. Boom.
There we are. Boom, as he says. The Remainers might ask, or people might ask, that aren't in Britain, well, why were 17.4 million people wanting to get out from the clutches of a banking plus corporations institute that was basically so destructive, and with a proof of the destruction they were creating is in how the countries have fared, or rather not fared, under the European Union. Now here I've got a very useful video. Here is Yanis Varoufakis on what's wrong in Europe today and how to fix it tomorrow morning. And he's been talking about how the bankers would promise money and then to the Greek people, and then of course it would go to the banking fraternity, but it wouldn't go to the people.
Our hospitals are sinking. We are swimming in money, but we're suffering, and you're giving all these billions to the Greeks. Of course, the money never went to the Greeks, it went to Deutsche Bank and Finanzbank. But the average German voter never hears that. So a proud nation is turning against another proud nation. The Germans hate the Greeks because the Greeks, they live under the sun in nice weather, they drink ouzo, okay, and they don't work and they're corrupt. That's what they're being portrayed as. And at the same time, they're taking all the billions away from the hospitals and from the infrastructure of a country swimming in money. And they hate the Greeks, and then the Greeks say, but you're Nazis. And they...
Right. Now, also remember what's happened in Venezuela, what's happened in Argentina. It's the countries can be swimming in money at the top, but it never filters down or gets put down to the people. So you crush and destroy the people. It's happened in Britain. Now, finally, I've got, all these will go in the description box. I've got Corey Good. Many of you will be wondering who the alliance is. I'm going to do a longer video on this.
Can you briefly just talk about a little bit, like, what is the Earth, like, who make up the Earth Alliance?
Okay. The Earth Alliance had actually, it was formed a long time ago, but it was really more secret. Back on 9/11, there were a large number of alliance leadership that were, David Wilcox talked about this, that were on a plane that were flying, I believe, to DC or Virginia. Yeah. A lot of evidence about, what we're going to hear about now. And the plane crashed. And as we hear from Q, 7 and 10 are manipulated. They're human caused on purpose. So the alliance has been, the United States alliance has gone back for quite a ways. As soon as they started seeing the Constitution being subverted.
I'm going to add more of that. Stay trusting and God bless. Bye-bye.